a very good afternoon to all the participants. Just now, because of the power interruption, I am unable to give my presentation. However, but let us start from the beginning onwards. Now, in this session, I am going to give my presentation on what does mean by decolonization and what is the historical importance of the decolonization and what kind of methods have been followed in achieving independence of India. More so, we are going to discuss about what kind of ideological contestations have been taken place during the process of decolonization. And after that, let us also discuss about what kind of limitations are there. And after that, let us discuss also about why India is a matter in geopolitical context also. First of all, let me start with what does mean by decolonization. The decolonization can be defined in two dimensions. One way it can be viewed as that putting end to the colonial rule. The other way, establishing self-rule. So putting an end to the colonial rule, the other way, establishing a self-rule with a full-length sovereignty. This is what called as a decolonization. So in 1947, we got an independence from the foreign colonial rule. It also a phase or historical event that have taken place, that establishment of the sovereign self-rule for the entire Indian subcontinent, and also declared our territory as an India and as a Bharat. So from 1947 onwards, that we have been protecting our sovereignty and also have been under self. So when it comes to the historical context, you see, the first half of the 20th century involved with one side World War I, the other side World War II. On the other side, the Great Economic Depression. So these three things what happened are led to put an end to the colonial rule, where it have been weakened the supremacy of England or a Britain. So then, because of these three important world events, a mighty power of the Britain have been declined. So historically what happened, it have given an advantage to the Indians to proclaim their self-rule, proclaim their self-sovereignty. Let us see what kind of methods that Indians or Indian leadership have been followed to achieve our independence and to reach the goal of self-sovereignty or throw out the colonial master's legacy. Ideologically, you see that Indians mainly have given much importance to the non-violence. It is a unique method have been followed by the Indian leaders. If you see the contemporary world movements or transformations or revolutionaries, you could not see this kind of a unique method anywhere. But in India, the method of non-violence, the method of ahimsa have been floated and have given much importance and also got a full-length support from the entire subcontinent. Where this idea of non-violence included in our all methods of movement against the colonial domination was by Mahatma Gandhi ji. Mahatma Gandhi The same method, experimentally, he was also practiced in South African movement against the apartheid. In fact, Mahatma Gandhi succeeded in presenting the method of non-violence in fighting against the apartheid in South Africa was a great important historical event that have taught to the entire world that the non-violence peaceful methods also have a power to transform or have a power to crack down the dominant forces. The other method that Indian leadership have utilized are revolutionary methods. You can take example from Subhash Chandra Bose, Bhagat Singh, Azad, Chandrasekhar. So these are all the leaders. They followed a method of revolutionary. Means they wanted the immediate independence for the Indians. They could not adjust with the colonial domination and the foreign rule on our soil. That's what happened. Per se, Subhash Chandra Bose. He founded Indian National Army. They believe in cracking down the colonial rule with a barrel itself. And Subhash Chandra Bose also gave an open statement that give your blood to me that I will give the freedom to the nation. It seems that, you see, they are ready to sacrifice their life also. So this kind of mindset, what happened, have determined their method of going revolutionary way against or fighting against the colonial rule. And another important method that Indian leadership also have been followed, that the policy or method of negotiation. The method of negotiations from the moderate time, extremist time, until to the Gandhian phase, it have been carried forward. In the beginning, they followed the method of pray, protest, petition and protest. And the important foremost method also need to be remembered, that the subalterns resistance. Subalterns means, you know, peasant resistance, tribals resistance, Dalit resistance and other sections of the society. They also expressed their resistance against the colonial masters in different times. That also what happened, that method, what happened, have attracted the mass strength, have showed the mass strength of the Indian decolonization movement. So in this way, that with these four methods, that Indians decolonization have been achieved. It cannot be say that any one method have yielded results, but altogether, the culmination of all together, that all these methods have been given freedom to India and then decolonized from the colonizing rulers. This is another aspect when it comes to the non-violence methods, that it have given a great impact on the Indian minds. Mahatma Gandhi, you see, consciously, he started his non-violent movement with the non-cooperation movement and the civil disobedience movement. And end of the day, what happened in 1942, at the time of World War II, what happened? He also gave a call to the entire Indians that Fit India movement. And he also, you see, a non-violent personality, a personality who preached the ahimsa. That personality, what happened, spoke about the violent methods. Do or die. The slogan he have given to the Indian mass, that you do or die, this is a chance, an opportunity got to the entire subcontinent to throw out the colonial masters. This is what the Gandhi's last stroke to the colonial masters, and at last we achieved the independence. And now, in this context, that four kinds of methods have been observed so far now: non-violence methods, revolutionary methods, and method of negotiation, and subaltern resistance. These four things have been involved in our method of movement against the colonial domination. But at the same time, it also needs to be observed that certain ideological conflicts also have been arised and came into prominence in the movement of decolonization. I will try to say and try to analyze one by one here. So Gandhi, first of all, Gandhi he came with a idea of non-violence and ahimsa and non-cooperation and civil disobedience movement. But at the same time, in opposing these kind of non-violence, civil disobedience, ahimsa, satyagraha methods, at the same time, in opposing these methods, that Subhash Chandra Bose, they came with the revolutionary methods. They did not believe in ahimsa. They did not believe in non-cooperation movement. They did not believe in civil disobedience movement. That according to the ideology of Subhash Chandra Bose, according to the ideology of Bhagat Singh, Azad Chandra Shekhar, and these people wanted to pull the power from the colonial masters. They did not believe in the ideology of ahimsa. They believed in the ideology of the resistance, revolutionary resistance against that. So here there was a kind of a confrontation, ideological confrontation have taken place between ahimsa and non-ahimsa methods, ideologies. So another important ideological contestation taken place during the process of decolonization was, one was that elite nationalism was propounded by the elite sections of Indian. The other one also, the poor section have propounded the subaltern voices. So when it comes to the elite section, so in the beginning they believed in that modernizing India. And prior to that, our Indian elites believed in transforming the India's tradition in a modernized way. Then after that, that moderates, they believed in the idea of introducing Western education, introducing modern industries in India, and giving an access to the Indian subcontinent with the outside world. These kind of demands and ideologies and objectives they put forth, and then they have given their cooperation full length to the colonial masters. At the same time, the subalterns, they outrightly, without any compromise, they raised their voice against the Britishers. That these subalterns have involved full length, strength, and they also have propagated, and each and everybody have been participated in this movement. Subalterns did not compromise. Subalterns did not have any kind of particular reservations for them. Their main thing was, whenever the problem come to them, and immediately they exhibited their resistance against that problem. For example, you can take a peasant rebellions. That many indigo rebellions. You can say that in Assam, that tea gardens were there. That Champaran movement was there, Khera movement was there. So in Champaran and Khera movements, peasants and laborers have participated. Even though Gandhi led that movement, but with wholeheartedly and with a plain heart, and to reach and to crack down the British colonialism, they exposed their interests, they exposed their problems to the world without any compromise. But whereas the moderates, the elite leadership, what happened? They have compromised. They are compromised their objectives. They accepted the British rule in initial days. Whereas the revolutionaries, and afterwards, in the process, what happened? It turned against the British colonial domination. The movement turned against the British colonial domination. But whereas these subaltern sections, you can take Dalits, you can take, so right now we are calling SCs, BCs, and other sections, they wholeheartedly, with a plain heart, they fought against the British colonial masters. Whenever a leadership gave a call to the nation, immediately, without having any apprehensions, they plunged into the movement and made this self-determination movement successful under the leadership of many personalities. So this is what a kind of thing. And another important ideological contestation also taken place in the process of decolonization was the movement for the social justice. You can take the best example was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He led a movement against the internal contradictions, internal domination. That Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he led a movement in two ways. In one way, he addressed the caste discrimination, class discrimination, gender discrimination in the colonial, in front of the colonial masters, and at the same time, he also worked to eradicate the caste discrimination, class discrimination, and gender discrimination within the tradition. He came with logical conclusions that casteism is one of the important apprehending social evil which have been there in India, and which have been dissenting, which have been hampering the unity of India. That's what he launched a movement against the caste discrimination and caste system. And he also have attacked on the scriptures which have been giving legitimacy to this caste system and discrimination and other things, gender discrimination also. So means when it comes to from 1930s onwards, when the Britishers have proclaimed the communal award in the first round table conference and second round table conference, you see that Britishers, they also had played a game by following the method of divide and policy. So that Gandhi one side, that Ambedkar one side, together they fought against the caste discrimination and important inequalities which have been prevailing in Indian society. So in this way, there are three important, which so far I have explained about the three important ideological contestations have taken place in India's process of decolonization. First one is, you see, violence and non-violence. Second one, elite nationalism and subaltern nationalism. Third one is, you see, a movement for the social justice. So in this way, that this process of decolonization have been involved great methods of ahimsa, commitment method of revolutionary, okay, and diplomatic method of negotiation, and mass involvement of the subaltern resistance. And at the same time, you see, these four methods have utilized against the colonial domination. Independence movement involved logical, many ideological contestations, non-violence and revolutionary, elite and subaltern, and movement for the social justice led by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Periyar Ramsamy, Jyotirao Phule, and like that many great leaders also have been involved in correcting the distortions which were there in Indian society, Indian social structure. So means decolonization means decolonizing or delinking the structural domination that is also involved in this movement. Establishing a new order of society with the modern and scientific lines that is also have been involved in this decolonization movement. But at the same time, there are certain limitations also taken place during the process of 1947 independence. The violence have been involved in 1947. That unfinished accomplishments also have been became prominent in 1947. That Gandhi, he fought for the unity, Hindu-Muslim unity, upper caste, lower caste unity, and he also gave much space to correct the distortions, structural distortions. But at the end of the day in 1947, what he visualized, but it happened opposite to that his visualization. In 1947, there was a massive communal violence taken place. It was a great and biggest apprehension in our anti-colonial movement. Millions have been displaced, and the deep social and political divisions have been exposed of during the time of partition and during the time of Indian independence. Means it was one of the important, great and biggest apprehension that have taken place, and it also an unfinished accomplishment of the decolonization, where our great leaders have been visualized, where that Mahatma Gandhi visualized the unity of India structurally, horizontally, vertically. He visualized the great unity of the entire Indian subcontinent. But at the time of independence, but what he visualized, that it happened opposite to his visualization. This is what the one of the important apprehension or unfinished accomplishment in the process of decolonization of India. Okay, let it be, even though that India as a subcontinent have gone through all kind of problems, and it set its own platform in international political arena. It also have been sustained economically and growing very fastly, and also standing as a leader for the global politics, where Jawaharlal Nehru established non-alignment movement at the time of Cold War, and even right now also that legacy have been continuing. And at this time of uncertainty also, that Indian ideals, Indian methods have been playing a role. For example, in the present context, it is relevant to discuss about the Gandhians' non-violence and ahimsa method and ideology. At this moment, the world have been divided into unilateral power blocks, multilateral power blocks, and bipolar power blocks. You see, in this context, geopolitical context, still India stood on his own stand and cannot be influenced by any foreign power. And globally, the India set an example for all the countries, for Asian countries and for African countries, to get their independence. Now, even though India have been achieving a lot globally and playing a important role in geopolitics, and also sustaining its dominance in the world politics, economy, in all respects. But during the time of decolonization, that Indian leaders and set their ideas and goals, but still there are problems have been continuing. One is, you see, political power. Actually, we have thrown out the colonial power, but at the same time you can see the dominant communities have been still continuing dominating the other lower sections. The dominant sections, they are holding the political power. But the power of authority, all these things, not down filtering towards the lower class or lower sections of India. This need to be corrected. And another important thing, economically, India, even though it shows its own progress, but there are certain colonial legacies need to be corrected and need to be improvised. And also that India's economy already it is competing with globally, but need to be more improvised, much more, and need to be stand globally number one country. And another important thing, if you look at the social thing, social aspect of India's decolonized, that still there is practice of untouchability, caste domination, discrimination, and gender discrimination. This still it's there in Indian society, that also need to be corrected, need to be set it in a right way. Still there are sections in India have to get the fruits of or results of the decolonization. Still there are people need to be get it. And let us hope this decolonized India, self-sovereign India will do more progress and in coming days and play a strong power in the global politics or become a strong power economically in the global economy also. Thank you very much. And let us have a small discussion on this thing if you are interested. Am I audible, Priyanka?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Henry Yogi?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Tashir Sangma?
No question, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
yes, sir. So, thank you so much, sir, for this discussion hour. So, just want to know that your lecture was very nice, and it was like very informative and very in fact very factual based and all that one.
Okay.
So, however, just I want to ask you, sir, that how can we reshape or how we can understand the meaning of this decolonization in the age of AI, artificial intelligence, or in this contemporary 21st century. So how we can view the meaning, the concept of this decolonization
Okay.
in the era of this artificial intelligence or so-called interconnected globalized world, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Here you see there are two things. One is colonization and the other one is decolonization. So if you look into the history, that colonization means settling down in other territories and occupying the other territories, settling down there, and then extracting or exploiting the resources which are available from that particular territory. That is what the colonization have done it. Decolonization means what? we have to throw out the colonizer to protect our resources and to stop the exploitation and to set our independent sovereignty. This is what so far it have taken place in Indian in the world. But right now in this artificial intelligence age, in the age of artificial intelligence, the meaning of colonization have been changed. Let me tell you, the colonizer left India. He gave independence physically to us. But our mindset, our technology, our advancements, everything is being controlled by the foreigners only. For example, you can take artificial intelligence. In this process, to redefine the decolonization, that we need to produce our own artificial intelligence tools. ChatGPT is there, Grok is there, Elon Musk, Grok is there, and ChatGPT is there, and many other kinds of artificial intelligence tools are there. But all these artificial intelligence tools now, they are ruling the entire world. But from Indian side, what kind of AI tools we are producing and what kind of technological advancement we have been showing, coming up with what kind of technological advancements where the world have to depend upon these advancements. But instead of making the world to depend on our advancements, but we are depending on others' innovative advancements. Now you see the colonized and the decolonized. So physically maybe we are decolonized. But right now technologically, in this age of artificial intelligence, that you have to, there is a question mark that whether decolonized or colonized. You see that colonization have been taking, I think, different, that in the different in note and different in shape, are different in exploiting the resources. So this is what need to be understand. For example, you can take that software things are the now Google is there. What is this? Google Meet is there, and Gmail is there. These are all been created by the Westerners only. But whereas, think about Indians, how technologically we are making the world to depend upon our advancements. That is the question mark here that need to be corrected and need to be worked out in that area to redefine what is meant by the colonization and what is meant by decolonization in the age of artificial intelligence. Okay, Henry Yogi?
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
And I think, sir, there is one more questions in the chat box raised by Sir Rahul Yadav.
Okay, please. Can I
read for you, sir?
Yeah. Please read it.
It goes like this. How do the English language and Western culture continue to exert global dominance? And what strategies can be employed to decolonize our linguistic and cultural practices?
Okay. So decolonize here also nowadays, I will tell you at this age that culturally, traditionally, and all our values and also have been spreading outside India also. And from India, that for example you can take the best practice of yoga. So the entire world have believed and practicing the yoga practice which was owned by the Indians. So in that way, India have showed its progress and have convinced the entire world to make them to believe in the practice of yoga for getting a good health. But in the same way, once you create an importance about our cultural and traditional things in global aspect, the obviously the entire globe comes in to our influence, then we can colonize culturally, colonize traditionally. But when it comes to the linguistically, already now there is a way that many transcriptive AI tools are in practice. Suppose I am a Telugu person, I am not fluent in English, but I can understand the concept which have been speaking in English. Though English is not our language, but because of the colonial masters' influence, that English, what happened, became a part and parcel of our in administration or in our life. This is a kind of a product of colonialism. But when it comes to our languages, they also have their own importance. Some languages are there. They are having its own antiquatal importance. But right now there is a solution that the transcriptive tools are there. But when it comes to India, India consisted many languages, hundreds languages are there. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Kutch to East Arunachal Pradesh. You see, there are many languages are there, tribal languages are there, plain Aryan languages are, South Indian languages, Dravidian languages are, North Indian. You see, like that many languages are there. So here it won't be a problem if we become advanced in creating AI tools in transcripting the languages. So for example, I will tell you all the inventions mostly which we have been experiencing and practicing or become a part and parcel of our life have been invented from Germany only. All theories, everything have been came from the Germany only mostly, or Western languages. But they did not know the English language, the colonial languages. But even though, but they proved and sustained and provide lots of theories and scientific technological innovations. Once this kind of transcriptive tools and transcriptive technology have been used in our all Indian languages, but Indians also can easily transfer their ideas, transfer their technology, easily exchange their ideas, transfer their technology and become advanced. So here in India, so in some communities you can, if you go and study the anthropological studies, you will find lot of unique things in that tribes or any communities. So once this transcriptive technology have been developed, automatically that India also easily can overcome these language and linguistic barriers. But at the same time, within India also, there is a small apprehension that need to be addressed by all Indians, that one language need not to be dominated, the other languages you need not be minimized. So all the languages should get equal priority and equal importance. Then automatically that this transcription, exchange of ideas through the transcription of AI tools can be done easily and knowledge can be transferred easily. Obviously that India can show its power at the global arena. It's okay?
Yes.
Okay, right.
Okay, sir, it's
Joshi madam?
completed, right?
It's
Yes, sir.
completed. Okay. If anybody want to interact with me, they can, I welcome them. Any
Yeah, all
kind.
right. Any participant? Yeah. I missed out in Meditating, it has been a wonderful session
Okay, madam.
because the topic is very interesting, decolonization. So I could heard only first part, that where you have mentioned, I think, types of decolonization.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. We should know actually overall, except our own discipline, right? Other discipline also, so that we come to know about the whole system. It's happening in and around the world, the universe. All the participants are requested to on your camera so that we take the photo of the last, with the resource person, along with the resource person and other participant. Okay, Henry. Okay, thank you all the participant for attending the session, and Dr. Doneti Sivaji for your wonderful session. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, madam. Bye.